Hi, you want to learn a little bit more about improv? You want to get a little bit better at improv? The best way to do that is a little game called Yes and. It's the building blocks of everything improv. You really can't start to learn how to do nuances and crazy, wacky stuff until you get the basics of yes and down. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. My name is Ron Parker. I'm the host of the Improv to Go podcast. Listen to it if you don't mind. It's on YouTube here as well, but you can find it on all the, Spotify and Apple and iHeart and all that stuff. So, Yes and is one of the games that we play on the podcast, and we do it as kind of a head-to-head competition with our guests. We have them on and see who can yes and better than the other. Sometimes we have guests who are newer to improv and they learn a lot. They have a lot of fun. Sometimes we have guests who have been doing it for a very long time, myself included, and I still learn a lot. I still have a lot of fun. So, what is yes and? Well, the very bare bones way to think of it is you are progressing a scene by never denying what your scene partner says. Improv is a team sport. You're helping each other out. You're giving each other gifts. Both of those things we'll probably talk about in a later video, and they're very important. But if you're not moving the scene forward, then there's not really going to be much there. And if you're yes-anding, that's going to move the scene forward. If you're denying, that's going to grind the scene to a halt. It's going to stop everything. So, what does denying mean? That would be if your partner says something to the effect of, hey, look at that alligator over there. And you say, no, there's no alligator there. That doesn't help. It might not have fit the narrative of what you wanted to do in the scene. So let's say that the prompt you guys are given for a scene is swamp. And you're like, oh man, I got this great line, this great gag, this great joke about a swamp, and it revolves around, the outhouse with the moon on it, or a fan boat or something like that. And it doesn't necessarily revolve around alligators. And your partner, the first thing they say out of their mouth is, hey, look, an alligator, that doesn't fit with where you were going. So you say, no, it's not. That's like, get on the swamp boat. Let's go to the outhouse with the moon on it. Something like that. It's not helpful. Number one, you're kind of screwing over your partner. Not cool. Number two, if both of you are doing this, especially, it's not going to progress the scene anywhere. And number three, that great gag, that great thought that you had in your head, that great line isn't going to be interesting or funny or any of that if the scene is kind of a jumbled mess and you guys aren't both on the same page, or all on the same page if you're in a scene with a whole bunch of people. And it just kind of ticks people off, if I'm being perfectly honest, if you're constantly denying. So let's say that you are yes-anding properly. That same scene, your scene partner says, hey, look, an alligator. And you say, yes, and it's got crazy big teeth. And then your partner goes, yes, and I'm a dentist, so I can yank all those teeth out. And then you say, yes, and just so happens I've been collecting alligator teeth, so this is a fantastic scenario. That's a very basic, off the top of my head way that could go. But you see, it kind of progresses the scene forward. I didn't have any ideas chambered when I came up with that scenario, and things, progressed and moved and got wacky, and then there were problems for us to solve, and we are improving. You know what I mean? We're not fighting each other. We're working with each other. One of the biggest mistakes I see new improvisers make is they get this idea in their head and they're too afraid to get rid of it. That's one of the things that yes and teaches you, is to get rid of good ideas. And honestly, that's what's going to make you good at improv. A lot of people think that having good ideas constantly, all the time, firing, bang, 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 that's what makes good improvised scenes. It's not. Getting rid of great ideas, if they no longer fit what's happening, and being willing to get rid of that stuff, is what makes you a great improviser. Like I was talking about earlier, that great, oh man, you've got this amazing joke about the swamp that you're going to toss out there. If you're willing to throw that away for the benefit of the scene because it doesn't fit anymore, then you're going to be better for it. The scene's going to be better for it. It will eventually be funnier. The other thing that yes and kind of fosters is thinking fast and not necessarily trying to think up the best, most witty line, which is another trap that people fall into, is you're always trying to, ooh, man, I got to get that zinger, that punchline. That stuff will kind of come, but first you have to have a understanding with the people in the scene with you. You have to have progression moving forward, and then that stuff will kind of work its way out. So again, if we're doing the most bare bones, distilled down to its like most basic components form of yes and, it's two people standing next to each other. And you can do this as a drill if you've got two people. Honestly, you can do it as a drill with one person. I'll get to in a second. But you've got two people. You're practicing yes and. One person starts with a statement. That statement could be, there is a bear over there. And then the second person is going to say, yes, and he's got fluffy brown fur. And then you go back to the other person. Yes, and his fluffy brown fur is soaking wet. Yes, and it's soaking wet because he just crawled out of the lake. Yes, and the lake was full of trout. Yes, and the bear was eating the trout. Whatever. It's not crazy funny just yet, but we are progressing the scene forward. We're not denying, and that's what you're really trying to learn at the outset. So if you're new to improv, this is going to sound crazy, but don't necessarily try to be funny. Just try to progress the scene forward. Always try to yes and do your best not to deny what your scene partner is doing. Once you get that down, you can kind of play around with, okay, I got some zingers in here, I got some punchlines up here, and if they come out, great. If they don't, even better. You're being a good scene partner if you're not throwing stuff out there for no particular reason that doesn't match the scene anymore. So yes, and it's a great building block. It's a great teaching tool. You can do it by yourself. Here's how you do it by yourself. You do what I just showed you. You, instead of having another person with you and without having an idea of where you want the scene to end or what you want the middle of the scene to be, you just randomly give yourself a prompt. There's actually generators you can use on the internet. We use them on the podcast all the time. There's one called Can I Get A? There's all sorts of them. So just look for random prompt generators. Generate yourself a prompt and immediately go. So you would do something to the effect of, boom, I generated myself a prompt of pen and go. I have a pen and it's got multiple colors. Yes, and those colors are green, blue, black, and red. Yes, and with those colors, I can draw 5 planets. Yes, and those planets are not from our solar system. Yes, and they're from the solar system Gobgorp. Yes, and the Gobgorpians rule that whole solar system. Boom, 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 boom. Just go as long as you can without stopping, without lingering, without waiting too long, and it's going to make you a better improviser. Again, you're not trying to be the funniest person on earth. You're just practicing thoughts coming to mind and correlating with each other and responding to the most recent thing that happened or was said, and that is yes, and once you do that a few times, you are becoming an improviser. You are getting better. You are going to be a scene partner who people are going to love to work with because you're giving them gifts. You're going with ideas that they tossed out there instead of contradicting them. You're not trying to like steal the show with this great, oh man, swamp idea, whatever it was, the fan boat or the whatever it happens to be. You're going with what's there. And the rest of it will come. The rest of it you'll figure out as you go. There are rules that you can bend. There are rules that you can break. And honestly, yes, and is one of those. But you have to get good at other stuff before you can start bending and breaking rules. Bending and breaking is crazy advanced. Start with following all the rules. That's another trap that people fall into, is they think that right away they're like, yeah, I guess that's kind of what the premise of the game is, but it'd be funnier if I said this. No, don't do that, especially if you're just starting out. Follow the rules of the game verbatim. If the game is yes and you are to say the words yes and, yes and, yes and, don't say yeah, it's or no, but it like don't play with it, don't mess with it. Like do the game exactly as whoever's instructing you instructed you to do it. And that is far more important, and it will make you far better as an improviser than if you try and bend and break the rules or go off book or say something crazy. Again, there's time for that later, and there's places and I don't know, skill levels where you can make that determination where it's okay to bend and break rules. But if you're watching this video and you're just getting started in improv and you aren't really super familiar with yes and, I can tell you right now is not the time for that for you. Just make sure that you're yes-anding. Make sure that you're not denying. Make sure that you're being a team player. Make sure that you and your scene partner are moving the scene forward, and that'll be some good practice for you. Until you get that down, just be good with what's there, right? And we will, as you progress, we'll have some more videos that you can check out. And, once you get a little higher level, we'll talk about when you break the rules, why you break the rules, that kind of stuff. Hope that helps. My name's Ron Parker. I'm the host of the Improv To Go podcast. Check it out. If you get a chance, we play Yes and on there on many of the episodes. But until then, keep at it. It's a heck of a lot of fun. You're going to have a blast. Improv is fantastic, and you are too. So see you later.